Hi, everybody. Welcome to Katrina Rasbold and Friends. And this is the purest essence of the title of this channel because this is one of my dear friends. And we are both what I would arguably call feisty old women. And
I
we,
like that.
yeah, that's us. And we have just such a real good time. And I'm grateful y'all can be here with us and kind of be a fly on the wall to hear us talking our mad shit that we talk. And this is my dear friend. I'm trying to think of all the adjectives I could use, but the
Oh
lady
Lord.
paranormal investigator and feisty woman and
Yeah.
all around cool lady Pam.
Oh,
Pam.
you're a sweetheart. I
I
love
like,
it.
I like your background.
Oh, thank you. I have Robert bought me a tarot table at Denio's auction.
Uh-huh.
And I have some of my tarot cards on it, and I've got an abalone shell and
Nice.
a pendulum and also and a cover, a nice velvet cover for it that has the what is it?
Yeah, the
Celtic
Celtic
spread.
Cross. Yeah.
And yeah, it's really cool. And so when I put it in here, I decided I wanted to put it in a corner and I bought the flags
Those are
because I
nice.
thought that was great. And then over to the side here, I don't, let me see if I can show you. Those are my
Ooh,
tarot cards.
very nice. Can I see the table?
Let's see here.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that great?
Yes, it is. Oh, it's wooden.
Yes. And then I did that to put over the top
Of
of it.
course.
Of
Very
course.
nice. So you said that Robert calls that your crap room, right?
Yes, because it's full of crap.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, this is I have stuff to make snow globes and wind chimes and jewelry I have yarn and material. I have a silhouette that's setting up on the table that I still haven't figured out how to use.
Now you're also in the process of making some um, centerpieces. I heard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do those all the time. I'll see something on Pinterest or we'll be walking through a thrift store and I'll go, "Oh damn, I could do this and I could do that." And the first thing out of Robert's mouth is, "Ah, shit."
How often do you follow through and actually do it? I'm pretty
Um
good about that, actually.
I am not great about it. That which hence is why the room is called my crap room. But yeah, these centerpieces, like I said, my Robert's doctors are phenomenal at
Mhm.
Mather. And so we make it a point of making them decorations for their reception area.
Nice, nice.
And so we're doing the Valentine's Day ones this time.
Oh, wonderful. Now, Eric is also a disabled vet, and he goes to Mather and says the same thing. He has always
Oh
gotten the
God,
best
yes.
care there.
Yeah, and I've heard people complain and moan and groan, and so I got ticked off one time, and I wrote I kid you not, to the head of the hospital, the head of the VA. I mean, if I could find the number, I sent the letter, right? And so Robert was getting ready to have he's getting ready to have surgery. And I had forgotten I sent a letter to the Sacramento Bee about how, unlike
Mhm,
unlike what's said, the VA really does give phenomenal care.
mhm.
I wish I could go
Yeah, me
to
too.
Mayfair.
Same here.
And I sent this letter to the Sacramento Bee stating that here's Robert getting ready to go into surgery, and all of a sudden these doctors and nurses are coming in and they're saying, "Thank you so much for your
Aw.
kind words." Well, he had no idea I did it. So he has no idea why they're thanking him.
Yeah,
And then somebody finally said, "Well, that letter that you wrote in the Sacramento Bee," and I went, "Oh, they printed it. Great."
nice.
But it was really cool because they had put it up by the scrub sink and everybody was reading it
Wow,
and scrubbing, and that's why when they were coming in and they were talking to him and telling him that they appreciated it.
that's just
So,
wonderful. Good.
well, you got to give people kudos.
You do. You really do, and too often people don't. I love it when somebody comes back to me after I've helped them and said, "Hey, You remember those candles you burned for me 2 or 3 years ago? Well, this and this and this happened. And a lot of the time, people come to me just upset and in distress. What can I do? Well, you can do this candle, this candle, this candle, and I'll burn it for them or I'll send it to them, and I never hear anything ever again. I don't know if they're dead or what. And
Yeah.
somebody comes back and says, hey, even if somebody says, I did that, it didn't work, so I did this, just tell me what happened.
Yeah.
Let me hear the end of the story.
It's nice to have feedback.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
It sure is. So, have you been up to anything else lately since we last talked?
What else have I been up to? I'm thinking about going back to school.
All right. I'm going to need more information on that.
I have always had this vision of I don't know if you call it a murder mystery or what, that I've wanted to write. I've got the basics in my head, but I don't have the direction to do it. And so I was thinking about, because I can do online courses since
Yeah.
Robert's a veteran. And I was thinking about majoring in English and taking some short story classes.
I think that sounds real nice.
Because
I did a lot of classes through Los Rios.
Oh, okay.
And I took classes at that time just because it was stuff I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And I had a real good time. It was hard, but I enjoyed it.
That's what, at one point I was thinking about taking law classes because I love to argue.
You'd be good at it.
And I love nitpicking things. I'll watch TV and I'll see this lawyer on Law and Order and I'll say, idiot, why didn't you do this? Because constitutionally, and Robert will start to crack up. And so I thought about that, but at 70, getting a law degree is probably,
I hear you.
I thought, okay, English, and then I could learn to write, and I could put this demented sense of humor and, demented sense of humor and imagination to good use.
Sure. I have no regret writing my books, and I have no regret self-publishing. I have no regret going with a traditional publisher. I have no regret going back to self-publishing. It just all went the way it should. And I'm happy to just do my blogs now. So I got it out. It was kind of like being constipated. You got to get it out.
Yeah, I understand completely. I'll get an idea or something, and I got to do it because otherwise it's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah, I hear you. I do.
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
Well, thank you.
So, what do you like best about where you live now? That's the first question.
Specifically, or
it can be the house, it can be the area, it can be whatever you want. It can be compared to other places where you've lived. But when you wake up in the morning, or you're out in your yard, or you're, in your crap room, what do you like best about where you live?
That is an excellent question.
Why, thank you. I thought of it all by myself.
Oh, wow. You know what? And I am not surprised. I love my patio and my garden. Those are my, Robert says that, and, once again, it's my crap room. I will go to a thrift store and I will buy one of those pole lamps. I'll strip it out and put solar in and put it on my patio.
Oh, nice.
And so I've got all these old lanterns and stuff, and including some actual lamps that I've just stripped out and put solar in them. Antique lights I have hanging on shepherd hooks around my patio. I put curtains around it and pansies on, what was it? Pansies on pool noodles. I cut the pool noodles in half, I nailed it up there, and I put pansies in it.
Very nice.
And so that I love being able to do that. I'll, find a project, and the next thing you know, I have a chandelier out in my tree filled with solar lights.
I love that. That is wonderful. I literally have a chandelier in my tree full of solar lights.
Yeah.
It was an old
Mommy.
black wrought iron, heavy as hell thing, and it survived
Yeah.
the fire. It was still
Ooh.
hanging after the fire, or actually had fallen after the
Yeah.
fire. And Nathan brought it back for me and said, "Look what I found." And so I hung it in the tree and put little solar tea lights
Yeah.
in the
See.
halls. It looked real pretty.
Yeah, that's what I found this great big huge thing at Desiree,
Mhm.
and I looked at Robert. I said, "I want that," and he goes, "What are you going to do with that?" And I said, "Whatever I want."
That's right.
And I hung it up in the middle of the tree out in the backyard, and it's got solar lights in it, and at night it lights up.
Very nice. I love that. That's wonderful. So this one is a tough one because as you get older, like us, we have to make concessions. And of course, I say older like us when Robert's arguably 1,000 years old.
Well, physically, yeah, yeah.
And so I'm sure you have to consider what your partner is going to have too. But what is your favorite meal? If you could just have the perfect meal, I'm not saying your last meal, but what would be your favorite meal? It doesn't matter if you cook it, somebody else cooks it, you go to a restaurant, I don't care. What's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is spaghetti. I
Interesting.
love spaghetti. I could eat that morning, noon, and night. I make the spaghetti sauce that I absolutely love, and then I make coleslaw with pineapple on the side
Hmm.
and garlic bread
Oh,
with lots
yeah.
of Parmesan cheese. But that is my go-to.
Got it.
That's my what is it? What my mama used to make for me when I was a kid.
Oh, I got it. Your nostalgic comfort food, huh?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I love that stuff.
So my nostalgic comfort food is weird, and it is also a childhood trigger. When I was 5, my mother got pregnant with this demon child named Alan, and my brother, and it made her very ill all the way through her
Oh.
pregnancy. And she convinced me that cold applesauce and toast was what Jesus ate when he was a little boy.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And so I gobbled the shit out of some applesauce and, you know,
Yeah.
and toast, buttered toast, so I could be one with the Lord, you know. And still to this
Work.
day, if I'm sick, I'm grumpy or what I crave is cold applesauce, like just stupid old Musselman or Mott's applesauce, and just some toasted white bread with butter.
In the dining room, I have 10 jars of red hot cinnamon applesauce that we
Wow.
canned last October. And man, that stuff is good.
Mm.
I love that stuff. But when I'm sick, it's hot Dr. Pepper and lemon.
All right, that's fucking disgusting. Now I'm a Dr. Pepper fanatic. I love
Yeah,
Dr. Pepper. I've never had it hot. Now is it like
you
a
should try
mulled
it.
wine sort of or
Sort of, yeah. And then you take lemon slices and you put in it. And when I'm sick, Robert knows. He goes and he gets me my Dr. Pepper and he heats it up in the microwave, slices the
hmm.
lemon up, and then it's and tomato soup.
For my kids, it's Lipton chicken noodle soup with the little tiny noodles because
Yeah.
that's what I used to make for them. So they always want the Lipton soup when they're sick.
Oh gosh, yeah. That's yummy stuff.
It
That is
is.
you're making me remember the old
The
days.
olden days. Now for Eric, he was a big fan of the Campbell's tomato soup.
Oh
And
yeah.
he didn't know how to make it right because, he just did it, like I said, on the can.
Yeah.
But I make it where you put in half a can of water and half a can of milk, which makes it
Oh
really
yeah.
creamy. And he just about died when he was a youngin' when I married him and hadn't had that. So to him,
Yeah.
that's probably what he wants when he's sick is just
Oh yeah.
the special expensive tomato soup.
Now I've got this is something that just absolutely curls people's toes. But my dad was from he was from where in the hell was he from? Iowa and Nebraska. Okay. So when I was little, my dad taught me how to popcorn. I love popcorn.
Mhm.
But when I eat popcorn, I put it in a cup and I pour milk over the top of it and eat it with a spoon.
All right, you need to quit. My mother ate weird shit, and I mean arguably weird stuff. Now I was raised in Kentucky, and Kentuckians eat some weird shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking fried squirrels like Beverly Hillbillies or anything, although I've had fried squirrel.
Yeah.
It's gamey and tastes like a very skinny, very young chicken. But my mama had a thing about old stale cornbread, and she would take the oldest, driest cornbread she could find, and she would actually save out a couple pieces of cornbread and leave it out in the air for a couple of days so it'd get really
Yeah.
dry. She'd cram it into a giant tumbler and pour buttermilk over it.
I'll bet
And
that's pretty good.
and eat that with a spoon. I can't do buttermilk. It's not. I don't do buttermilk or yogurt or anything cultured like that. But she loved that. Another thing she would eat is we had those old dinner plates that have the flange around the edge,
Yeah.
and she would pour it full of Caro syrup, and then she would put, I would say, easily a cup of peanut butter in the middle of it. And then she would mix it all up and she would sop that up with a loaf of bread, and that was her happy place.
Oh, wow.
And
See, now Robert would like the Caro syrup with the peanut butter, but I don't think he'd sop it up with bread.
I couldn't tell you what it tastes like because I was never inclined to try it, but she loved it. She just loved it. But yeah, the stale cornbread with the buttermilk, and she'd
Oh.
eat it. She'd take an iced teaspoon so it would reach all down into
Oh, yeah.
and she
Yeah,
would
I'm
just,
not sure about that.
yeah, that's
I use
probably why she's dead.
I use buttermilk when I'm making I love biscuits and gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I love biscuits and gravy. And I like to take a little bit of buttermilk when I'm making the gravy just to give it a bit
Yeah.
of swing. So yeah, that or I'll put it sometimes in mashed potatoes or something, but drink it straight, I can't do it.
No. I actually have the dried buttermilk,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'll
that
use
stuff's
that.
good
I'll
too.
constitute that and use it when I cook.
Oh yeah, like pancakes.
Yeah,
Love
biscuits
to put that
or
in
yeah,
pancakes. Yeah.
yep, good stuff. But no, buttermilk has got. I've never had a carton of buttermilk in my refrigerator since I left Kentucky in 1978. So
Well, I can't say that. Every once in a while it creeps in there.
that's nasty. That is just nasty. I think the only thing nastier than buttermilk is it, and I feel the same way about cottage cheese, but not quite as bad, is if you go to kiss somebody that's just recently had buttermilk or cottage cheese and you get that wafting that
Wang.
comes over you. That's just, oh Lord help us.
Especially if you don't like it. You
Mhm.
know, you don't want to kiss somebody who's been eating something you don't like.
I just don't. I don't. So another one that is really, this is not just a Kentucky thing, but it's kind of a Southern thing
Okay.
that my mother, and it's also a poor Southern, that my mother used to send in our school lunches, and that now is just a real comfort food for me, is armor potted meat
Oh, Robert likes that stuff.
on white. It's got to be on white bread. Now I can eat it on some light multigrains, but
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoy that very much. And that's just, oh, Eric just cringes when I eat that. It just breaks his heart because,
Yeah.
it's pig lips and whatever else they could find, and just
Or
nasty.
Robert's he likes it sometimes in the morning if for breakfast. I
Mhm.
fry up spam.
I've told this story here before, but when we lived in Grizzly Flats, we had a family that had a number of kids and grandkids that lived in the same house.
Okay.
They actually had two giant houses up there that the dad had built. And the dad was one of the original pirates of the Silicon Valley. I mean, and when I say the dad, it was a guy that was our age.
Yeah.
And they had money. I mean, they were well off.
I am going to take you with me for a second
All
because
right,
I
you going to
have
the
to.
bathroom?
No, I love you, but I don't love you that much.
No, I don't love you. So
But I
anyway,
am.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. So my son was friends with one of the little boys, and he went over there to eat. He came back and he said, "Mama, they had the most incredible food there." And I'm thinking he's going to tell me they had lobster or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh no, it's this stuff called spam. It was so good." He loved it. I don't know how he feels about it now he's all grown up, but he loved
Ew,
it
that
back
sounds
then.
gross.
Yeah. My mom used to put it in macaroni and cheese.
Spam?
Yep.
Ew. I don't think I'd
No.
go for that.
Well, my
Hot
daddy
dogs and
also would not eat chili unless it had macaroni in it.
oh, chili. I love chili.
I'm gonna make chili tonight. You can come up if you want to.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I was gonna beans, ham hocks, and cornbread.
That was my second choice because we just had ham over the weekend. So it was, am I going to put some ham in the chili or am I going to do some pinto beans and ham?
Oh yeah, we did. I had done the this is stuff that I froze, and
Oh, well, thank you.
because I made way too much,
Yeah, I hear you.
and
Same here.
so that's why we're back.
Hi.
I have to plug me in because
Got you. Okay. That's an emergency. Thanks for doing that. So
you're
there's
welcome.
some of our questionable favorite foods.
Hi, come on, you.
Oh Lord, I'm having a seizure. Hurry up.
God, I love you.
I love you right back.
Okay.
So when you dream, what's it like?
They say that you don't dream in color. I don't believe
Lies.
them because I
Lies.
do,
I do too.
and it's usually very vivid. And it's sort of creepy because I have a lot of deja vu
Hmm.
where I'll be somewhere that I know I've never been, and all of a sudden, I will have dreamt about it and and cast it off, not even remember it, and then the next thing you know, I'm there, and I'm looking around, and I'm going, I've never been here before, but I've been here before,
Wow.
and it's unsettling is a really good
I'm
description.
sure.
But it happens a lot where I'll be looking around and I'll be in a room and I'll go, okay, that's there, that's there. If I go that way, that's what's there. And yeah,
Hmm.
so that happens a lot.
How's your dream recall?
Not great. That's the funny thing about it is I'll be somewhere and then all of a sudden it'll strike me
Mm-hmm.
that I had dreamt about this, but
Interesting.
usually I don't remember it. I'll have vague recollections of my dreams the next day,
Mm-hmm.
but really vague. So I'm weird.
No, you're not. You are, but not
I'm
about that.
unique. I'm unique. There we
You're
go.
unique.
Yeah, unique
So
you.
this could be two different ones or multi ones, but what animal do you most relate to? And then what animal do you enjoy the most?
Hmm.
And it could be the same animal or a different animal.
Because I'm trying to think in regards to the relation aspect of it. Hmm. I'm going to say dogs for both
Interesting.
because I love dogs and I miss having them, but it's too hard when they pass, so I can't
Isn't
take that.
it? Oh my God. When I lost Elvis a little over a year, about a year and a half ago, it was July. I'd had him for 18 years.
Yeah.
And so he was there when my kids grew up and everything. And he was a little Shih Tzu and just the sweetest. That dog loved me so much. I loved that dog. And died in my arms. He just was
Oh,
old. He had strokes
yeah.
and he
It was
died. And yeah, he needed to go. Bless his heart. He looked like a little ragamuffin by the time it was ending. But he always, had a smile for me and tail wagging. And I just
yeah.
didn't take the means. And then he had a really catastrophic stroke early in the morning. So I was holding him, when he
Yeah.
was going. And I wasn't going, I was with you. This is too hard. I am not doing this.
No, never again.
I even wrote a whole article about why I'm not doing this. And then Eric found this little dog, Bruce, through
Yeah.
weird means. And Bruce is my boy. And this dog hates everybody but me. And that's not an exaggeration. He hates everybody he comes in contact with. But
Yeah.
he loves me.
Aw.
So him's my buddy.
So it's a match made in heaven.
It is, but he's got this thing he does. I'm not trying to make this all about me. It's your interview, but just
Oh
to
no, that's
finish,
okay.
he has this thing he does because he's a Jack Russell mix.
Okay.
And he wakes up at 2:30 in the morning like clockwork. And he's
Oh,
got to pee, and I get that. You're little, you got a baby bladder, let's go.
Yeah.
So I'll take him out to pee, which became more challenging now that I had some mobility issues because of my fall.
Right.
So, but I'll get up and take him outside. But I've got a big house, so it's across the way to get there. Let
Right.
him outside, let him pee. Of course, I'm out in the cool air, and with the door open, I'm feeling it. I'm getting woke up. Bring him back in, and he wants to play. And he is not going to sleep. He wants to play and run and jump,
Of course.
and so he does that for 3 hours. And then I get back to bed around 5:30, 6 o'clock, which is why nobody sees me before 10.
No
Because
kidding.
yeah,
Because you've been up for a few hours playing catch.
it's
Or
crazy. And I don't like that part. I like him, but I don't like that part. And the worst part is I am not a dog person. I don't enjoy dogs. They need too much care. They're
yeah,
wonderful partners, but they need too much care. It's like having a toddler all the time.
yeah. And they never grow up.
Right. And I don't love that.
No.
I need my animals to have greater independence. But I ended up with dogs for most of my adult life, and these dogs love me, and I'm not going to reject love. So there
Yeah,
it is.
well,
So tell me about some of your dogs that you've had.
okay. When I was little, I'm an only child. So my parents got me a purebred Pekingese, and his name was Snoopy. And the reason his name was Snoopy was because my dad called me Snoopy. So he asked me what I was going to name him. And I was like 3. And I went, Snoopy. He was my bestest bud. But I put him through a lot, poor guy, because he's, I don't know, he's my best friend. So I jam him in my little pedal car and take him for rides. Well, uh, and I'm probably going to get called by PETA for this one. I was in the back seat of my mom's car. We were living in Nevada at the time, and we lived on a ranch. Now, what you need to know was they were fixing the bathroom. So if you had to go to the bathroom, you went to an outhouse. My mom hears me in the back seat going, one for you and one for me and one for, because I'm sharing with my best
Mhm.
friend. She pulls over to find out what it is, and it was a block of X-Lax.
Oh no.
And he almost died going to the bathroom every 5 seconds.
Bless his
And
heart.
my mom had to run me back and forth to the outhouse. So
Mhm.
till this day, I still can't stand the smell of anything that smells anything like X-Lax. So he survives that, and he still loves me, and it's wonderful. And one day I go running into my mom and I go, Mama, Snoopy bit me. And she goes, why'd he bite you? And I said, I was playing doctor and I gave him a shot.
Oh no.
And my mother said to me, well, dumbass, you deserved it. So Snoopy was that one. And then I had a purebred teacup poodle, and his name was Pierre.
Oh,
Followed
fancy.
me everywhere. I mean, I had him until I was in high school. And he hated my stepdad with good reason.
Mhm.
And so what happened was my stepdad had opened up the door, come in my room, and literally that dog would jump off the bed and hit the wall going after that man. Love that dog.
Mm.
I came home one day and my stepdad said that he got hit by a car, which really I think what he did was he gave him away.
Mm.
And I didn't get another dog until, oh geez, when I worked at the SPCA. I worked there for 8 years, and I had a little terrier mix. His name was Pee Wee. And then we had a Pomeranian Cocker Spaniel. Her name was Sugar. And then we had an Akita Malamute, and his name was Boo Boo. And they were amazing. Pee Wee would sit probably like you. That dog had sat with me. There was no
Mhm.
way that I'd sit in a chair where that dog wasn't there. And then Sugar had 2 double canines up in here, and I
Oh
took her
wow.
with me, and they took out the extra canines. Well, the problem was she'd suck air up in there and make her sneeze.
Mm.
Mm. And you'd look at her and you'd go, Sugar, how you doing? Sugar, can you smile? And when she smiles, she sneezes her head off.
Oh.
She, poor thing, she'd smile and smile, and so you'd have to calm her down and say, stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Boo Boo. Boo Boo was huge. And there was a couple of neighbor kids who teased him, so he really didn't like anybody except the family.
Mm-hmm.
I trained him on our back door. I hung a cowbell. And when Boo Boo wanted to go to the bathroom, he'd have to go ring the cowbell. So he'd ring the bell and he'd sit down and he'd look at you. And if you didn't move, ring that bell again. And after the third time, he'd like walk over to you and say, there's a problem.
Did you not hear the bell?
They did not hear the bell. But when they all, and they all passed when they were old.
Yeah, elder dogs are so hard.
And and every time I'd lose one, it just killed me. Well, when I
Mhm.
lost Pee Wee because I'd had him so long, I had him cremated. And I have his cremains in my bedroom in a box. My son looked at me and said, "You're paying money to cremate a dog?" And I said, "Great. If something happens to you, I'll just pop you up in a corner." And he looked at me and went, and I said, "This is my best friend. He went through my divorce and everything with
Mhm.
me." So I said I owed him that much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the column that I wrote just basically said, at my age, if I get a dog, it's not going to end well for one of us.
One of us is going to leave. It's a
Right.
guaranteed fact. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but no, Bruce came along by weird means, and
Uh-huh.
so I have Bruce. We'll see what
There
happens. I
we
guess I get to
go.
go through this again somehow, or he does. So,
Is that Bruce Wayne?
no, it's actually short for Brucifer.
Oh, I like that.
Hang
That's
on a
good.
minute. Let me see if I can get I don't know if I can keep my camera from unplugging here.
Hey, Bruce, where are you?
Hold on. Let me pull out his bed here.
Oh,
That's Bruce.
there's Bruce. Hello,
There's
Bruce.
Bruce.
He says I'm gonna get comfortable up here.
Yeah, he's my buddy. He hangs out with me all day long, and it's one of the hardest things about it. Sorry for the bad camera angle, everybody. One of the hard things about it, like I said, is Jack Russell Terriers are such a busy
Yeah,
breed, and
yeah,
he
they
got
are.
stuck with an old lady. He needed some young person that's going to run his legs off, or somebody that had another dog that he likes that he can run with, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
just got an old lady sits at the desk all day. So I'm sure that's not working out good for him, but.
Those are
Anyway,
the
so those are
dogs.
our
Those are
dog
the dogs
stories.
that like to. Those are the dogs that like to chase their tail because they got nothing better to do.
He's a little weirdo anyway. He was found in an orchard in Porterville,
Oh my.
and he had been there for an untold amount of time. And when they tried to pick him up, he bit a cop, so he got put on death row. And then
Oh, how'd you end up with him?
a rescue took him in, and Eric ran into the lady that ran the rescue at the Dollar Tree, and they got to talk, and then he got a dog.
There we go. Okay.
And
Well, it
it
was
was
meant to
almost a
be.
year to the day from when Elvis had died.
Oh, it
And
was
so
meant. It
he's
was.
like, "Here, I got you a dog." Like, I literally just last week wrote this article about why I'm not getting a dog. But
It
yeah,
was meant to be.
yeah,
Meant to be.
he's my buddy. All right, so this will be fun because
Okay.
when you're as old as we are, we got stories,
Oh
as
Lord.
evidenced by the last 33 minutes. Not counting the pre-show before that
There
and
we
all
go.
the conversations we've had since we met. What are the best and worst jobs that you have ever had?
Ah, man. Hmm. God, that's hard.
Because we often have had a ton of shitty jobs.
Oh well, not only that, but it was a good job, but it was a shitty job.
So
I
it's kind of
worked
like
at
the same job.
yeah, I worked at the well, like I said, I worked at the SPCA for 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, it was a kill clinic.
Mm,
And people would bring in, and I loved the dogs,
yeah.
and I liked the people I worked with, but people would bring in dogs for the damnedest reasons. And I had one lady that showed up with a purebred Dalmatian, or no, she wait a minute, let me backtrack. This one guy brought in his dog. It was 8 years old. He said he didn't want him anymore. And when I told him that because he was 8, he'd be put down, he got pissed at me.
Mm.
And I said, I'm sorry, but we got puppies back there that
Mhm.
are adoptable, and people just don't want old dogs. And he came back later, threw a toy in the front lobby and said, boom. And I went, congratulations, you know where I work.
Mm.
And I, it was, and I had to put at least one dog down in order to keep my job. And I kept finding ways in which to keep from doing it. And
Mhm.
finally, what happened was they made me go in and do it, and I passed out.
Mm.
So what would happen is they would bring in, I had one dog, and he was a purebred rot. He was 7 years old. And I adopted him and kept him for 3 years.
Mm.
They would bring in animals, and I would take them home and keep them until they needed to be put down. And then I'd bring them in and have them put down
Mhm.
because I didn't want to see them die.
Mhm.
But it was one of the best jobs because I was their volunteer coordinator and their fundraising assistant. And so I got to meet lots of people and I had lots of fun. But at the same time, there was the other side of it.
Mhm. Tell you, I've asked several people this question, and you win.
I have got, boy, you want some stories. I have got some stories from working there that were just,
Yeah, that's unsettling.
no, these are actually funny stories. I had a woman call me one time, and part of the SPCA was we had humane officers who used to go out and do investigations. And my boss was sitting next to me, and you know my sense of humor, it's really, really warped. And she says, listen, I don't do drugs. And I went, okay. This
Do
is
you mean
starting out with me.
today or in general?
I don't do drugs, but I was sitting in my bathroom smoking a doobie when I saw Bigfoot out back and he was getting cans. I swear to God, this is what this woman said to me. And I said, really? Now my boss can't hear her side of it. She could only hear my side of it. And I said, well, I'm going to go along with it. What the hell? Can you get him to, he has to be contained in order for our humane officer to come out and get him. Can you get him in the garage? She said, I'm not sure I can do that. And I said, well, you'd have to call animal control if you can't get him contained. And she
Mhm.
said, but he's out there collecting cans. And I said, I got another idea. And she goes, what? I said, get him to collect the cans, bring them to your house, and you can cash them in for money. About that time, my boss goes, "Pam, what are you doing?" And I said, if you get him contained, you let me know. And I'll send a humane officer over. And I hung up and she goes, what the hell was that? And I told her, I thought the woman was going to fall out of her chair.
Well, did she call back?
Nope.
Mm,
I had a lady
too
call me
bad.
once. Yeah, this lady wanted a purebred Dalmatian because she had just bought herself a red convertible and she thought it'd be cool to put a scarf around his neck and set him in the passenger seat. And
Mhm.
I told her, I said, really, what you need is Toys R Us
Yeah.
because we're not going to adopt anything to you.
Yeah.
And we would get these calls and I would just be in awe going, huh, really? You said that out loud? I can't believe you said that out loud. But, there were wonderful parts of that job, but also there were the downsides of that job.
Yeah, I
So,
would not enjoy that job.
yeah, hey, I made it for 8 years.
That's amazing. I bet that's a high turnover rate at that job.
It was funny. It really wasn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really wasn't because I think the people who started working there, you become committed
Sure.
to trying to help the animals any way you can. So,
Got it. Hmm. So, how many animals did you foster during that time?
oh, geez. I'd say about 10.
That's not too bad for eight
Yeah.
years.
My daughter, Misty, was just in high school, and I wanted to teach her that having a baby was not fun. So that's how we ended up with Boo Boo. Boo Boo's mother got hit by a car and he was like a week old.
Oh
So
my.
I used to bring the kids to the shelter on their, during vacations and stuff for them to volunteer and they, clean the cages and stuff. She asked me if she could foster him and I said, "Sure, but you are responsible for him. I'm not. He's your baby." And we got she had a bottle and she had to clean his little butt and she'd take him to the grocery store wrapped up in his blankie and put him in the little thing and stuff. And I made her pay me babysitting when she'd go. And she'd go, "Why do I have to pay babysitting? He's your responsibility, not mine."
Mhm.
But when he turned 6 weeks old, we could not give that dog up. We just couldn't give him up. By that time, he was part of the family, and that
Mhm.
was. But yeah, see, Boo Boo, and oh geez, I had a there was a pet store that closed down, and I ended up with a clownfish and God, what was it? Not a clown. What is it called? Oh, a convict.
Oh
I
yeah.
ended up I ended up with a convict, and I ended up with something else. And we called them Freddie and Jason. And I'd get goldfish, and Patrick would come home and he'd go, can I feed, Freddie and Jason? Sure. And here you go, one little one for this one and one for that one. And we had them for about 3 or 4 weeks. And one day I came home and Jason had ate Freddie.
Oh no.
So yeah, that was an example of, that's what happens when you
That's
have those
true.
kind of,
Sure enough.
rats. We had rats and we had hamsters and oh gosh, yeah. The kids growing up had everything because I couldn't stand to see them die.
Hard. That's really hard. So, boy, this is one of those things that I think I know what you're going to say, and it's a very appropriate question for you, but I honestly don't know what you're going to say. Have
Okay.
you ever seen a ghost?
Yes.
I didn't know in your experience. I honestly don't know your perspective on paranormal investigation or your theologies about it.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm
break
not
it
quite
out.
sure
Tell
what
me
you're asking. Okay.
what you think.
I think I told you this story years ago. When I was very, very young, and remember, that's in the mid 50s. They were not too tolerant about things. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would scream. And I screamed because there'd be people next to my bed. Now, this wasn't Dracula or Frankenstein, it was a person. And they were as clear to me as you are. But I didn't know who they were and I would start screaming. Well, doctors decided I was having night terrors and they doped me up.
Mm,
So, as I got older, and I got my own place, I began to realize that maybe there was something else going on. My grandfather smoked Prince Albert in a can,
hmm
very distinctive smell. And he had passed away, and I was walking through my house one day, and we never smoked in the house. I didn't have anybody who did smoke. So I'm walking through, and I can smell Prince Albert in a can. And I said, "Hi, Grandpa. Thanks for stopping by. Nice of you to stop by." And I told my grandmother, and she screamed at me
mm,
that there was no such thing as that kind of stuff. And she didn't want to hear that crap out of my mouth ever again,
oh,
which didn't stop me, by the way. I just didn't tell her. So I, and I think we touched on this last time. I believe that when people die, they can come back and visit you.
hmm
They can communicate with you. There's all sorts of different types of paranormal activity. To me, they are in a different plane. You may have, people call it heaven and hell. To me, it's just a different vibration.
hmm
And sometimes they cross through and they can communicate with you, or you can see things that maybe are frequencies of something that happened and people are, residual, where it is just like a loop, like a rerun that just keeps looping and looping and
Mhm.
looping. Or you can have the ones that can communicate with you, who either through digital recordings or voice that you can hear or moving things, they're letting you know that they're there. And because my dad died when I was 9, I became fascinated. I wanted to know what was going on. I needed to know that he was okay, that there was something else going on. And I had some people that I worked with, and he looked at me and he said, "We're going to Virginia City and we're going to go spend the night in this place. You want to come?" And I went, "Sure." I'd never been on a paranormal investigation. And that's what started it. And I have not stopped since.
Mm.
Because every time I have an answer to a question, I end up with a new question. And it's comforting to me. It's very, very comforting to me. Plus, my son is very religious. God bless him. He's extremely religious. He doesn't like the idea that I do this. And that's because it's not that he doesn't believe you should be bothering people who've passed on.
Mm.
And so we've had the conversation where I tell him, sometimes people want to talk to you. Sometimes they have a story that they want to share. I'm not forcing them to come to me. I ask, and if they want to, that's fine.
Mhm.
If they don't want to, I'm good with that too. But sometimes, just like with us, they need an opportunity to let you know that they're there.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it's going to be, I'm sure, a lifelong passion. And then when I die, I have a list.
Well, add me to the list, please.
There
But
we
I might
go.
already be dead. But if I'm not, put me on
Hey,
your
we'll
list.
hang out.
Come
You
see
know
me.
what? We'll meet up and we'll hunt places and
I like that. That sounds
let
real
people
good.
know. But yeah,
What would you say, is the most haunted place you've ever been in?
oh gee, that is an excellent question.
Because I know you've been in some real kickers.
Oh yeah. Um, the Hornet is probably one of the most haunted places I've been to. Preston, we had some stuff happen at Preston. In Virginia City, there's more dead people than live ones there.
Wow.
Um, Robert is still angry at me because I took him to Goliad, because I'm the one. Robert's told you this. I'm the one that wants to see this. I'm the one that, while everybody else is running in one direction, I'm running toward it. And he'll look at you and say there is no light at the end of the tunnel, but he's changed his mind and he's a believer now. But I took him to Goliad, and do you know what Goliad
No, I
is?
have no idea.
Okay, then this is going to be fun. When the Alamo was being sieged by Santa Anna, there was a fort. It was called, God, what's the name of it? Well, anyway, it was a mission. It's in Goliad, Texas, and Jim Fannin was the commander of that post, and he was supposed to take his 400 men to back up the Alamo, but Santa Anna found out. And he sent some generals there, and they killed all 400 of them at that
Ooh.
mission. And what happened was, when he killed them, he just left them out. And so Robert is a big fan of um, um, the Civil War and the Alamo. He can talk to you, and it almost sounds like he was standing there when it
Mm.
happened. I looked at him and said, "We're going to go spend the night in Goliad." And he gets going, "Oh, okay, I know that story." And he's rattling off to me. What he didn't know was we were the only ones that were going to be staying in
Oh,
Jim Fannon's room. Didn't tell him. And so we get there and he goes, What's going on? I said, well, honey, we've rented this room for the night, and we have access to the inner area of the mission where Fannin was shot. We have access to the big burial mound where the 400 bodies are over here. And Robert's going, okay, that's fine. No biggie. Didn't think anything of it. We did some investigating, and about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, we're getting tired. So we go in. There's no TV, there's no phone. It's just the way it was back in the day. I lay down and I pass out. All night long, Robert said he was being poked, and
Mm.
people were whispering in his ear and talking to him in Spanish and in English. And I get up the next morning. I said, "How'd you sleep?" "I didn't." "What happened?" Yeah, they just, and I said, "You're a soldier. They felt a connection with you."
Yeah.
"Well, I'm going to connect with you."
Was that your
Damn it,
honeymoon?
Pam. Damn it, Pam. Why do you do these things? Well, seemed
Was
like
that was that your honeymoon?
oh no, we went to, I dragged him for our honeymoon. I wanted to go to Disneyland on Halloween, but it was a bust
Hmm.
because they are not big into the villains. So I dragged him to Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
Nice.
And it was the day after the Day of the Dead celebration, right? And you got to be careful what you tell me, because if opportunity knocks, this girl's going to open the door. And they said, you can walk around and investigate and have yourself a great time, but don't go in the mausoleums because we're cleaning up from the Day of the Dead. So, and well, then don't leave the door open. So here's Pam, Rudolph Valentino. Hi, Rudy. How you doing? And I'm in the mausoleum. And all of a sudden I realized this is in October. So it's 5 o'clock and the sun's starting to go down, and I'm gutsy, but mausoleums scare the crap out of me.
Mm.
And all of a sudden I realize, A, I'm not supposed to be in here. B, the sun is going down. And C, if they don't know I'm in here and they lock the door, I'm stuck.
Hmm.
And that ain't somewhere I won't be stuck. And so I found my way out, but it was, we've went back twice. And I really do want to go back again because there's just so many really cool graves in there that, and, I haven't gotten anybody yet. But then cemeteries are sort of, they're not as haunted as some people might think. I've gotten
Well,
stuff.
and a lot of them don't want to hang out at the cemetery.
Oh no. I've gotten some stuff. Robert and I got some up in Grass Valley. Yeah, we were at the cemetery in Grass Valley, and this one, we got a recording of this guy saying that he was a veteran and he needed his headstone. That they hadn't given him his veteran's
Mm.
headstone, and he'd been there buried for a long time in the cemetery. So the next day, we get a hold of the person who manages the cemetery, and we tell her, we were doing this investigation and this is what we got. And she said, "Oh my God. Yeah, he is a veteran, and yeah, he is supposed to be getting a headstone, and I will look into that." And like 3 weeks later, they gave him his headstone.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, but he kept saying, I want my headstone. I want my headstone. And
Mhm.
so now he's got it. So that was very comforting
For
to
sure.
do.
Mm.
To do. Yeah.
So is that your favorite? Is Hollywood Forever your favorite cemetery to go to?
Yeah. I love cemeteries.
Hmm.
When we went to Wichita. Robert went over to see his dad and his grandpa, and I was in the mausoleum there. I didn't get anything, but it was awesome to go through there, and it was I love cemeteries. I don't know why. The one downtown, the old cemetery downtown, is really cool, and it's got some great headstones.
Yeah, it sure does. I
And
I went
so,
there a long, long, long time ago.
yeah.
really long time ago. So
Well,
sometime soon, when I can walk again, we'll have to do the Placerville tour.
oh yeah, but we were talking about that today because I was watching Good Day, and they were in Placerville going to all these places, and Robert's going, "Gee, we really need to get up there." And I said, "Well, Katrina's up
That's
there,
right.
gives us an excuse, so that'd
Most
be fun."
certainly. So we want to go to Diamond Springs Hotel.
Okay.
That is actually one of those certified haunted places.
Oh, I love those
And
things.
and they have great food. So we just have lunch there.
Okay.
Then we go downtown and we want to go to the Carey House, which is a hotel.
Oh yeah.
So we want to check that out. And then we probably want to go into, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be the Cosmic Cafe, and it's up at the
Okay.
top of Main Street. And there's a big, deep mine shaft in the back that used to be open that you could walk into.
Oh, okay.
So if it's still open, that place had a lot of activity when I was there. So we
Oh
want
yeah.
to check that out.
There's a it's not known by anybody, but I can't remember. Across the freeway, there's this really small office facility, right? It's got a few, I think, like maybe a couple doctors, a chiropractor, like that.
Hmm.
But if you walk alongside, there are graves there that nobody knows about,
Interesting.
and
That would be worth checking out.
it's we went up there, and it was sort of sad because they had numbers. There's no names, and you just see a little. Sometimes it was just a little piece of metal, or it was a piece like somebody took a brick and stuck it down there. And they told me there was like 40 graves up there
Hmm.
that used to be up there, but it obviously this had been back, geez, the late 1800s,
Hmm.
early 1900s, and these were people that were indigent or died of TB or
Yeah.
whatever. It's the same thing with Mormon Island, where they moved the graves from Folsom Lake, and they put them in
Mhm.
Mormon Island.
Yeah.
And that's sad because you walk through there and it just has numbers. You
Yeah.
have no idea who these people are.
Mm. Do you know if that one place off the freeway, do you know if that was off of the freeway in El Dorado Road?
It could have been. It
The
has
reason
been a
I'm
good
asking is
15 years.
so when you're going toward Tahoe on Highway 50,
Mm-hmm.
to the left, there's what is now a thrift store. It used to be a carpet and furniture store. And to the right, there's this weird little, almost like a strip mall, but not quite, that's
Yeah.
got a chiropractor and a dentist and some things like that in it. And I had to go there one time with a friend of mine that was seeing the dentist there. And that was the creepiest place. It was, so I'm just wondering if it's the same place
It
here.
could be. Was there like a hillside right next to it
Mm-hmm.
that had nothing on it but grass?
Yep.
Yeah, just
But
really.
to be
Yeah.
fair, I haven't been over there probably in 20 years. So it could
Well, it's
be,
been a good, it's been what? No, 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 no. I'd say probably 10 years for me.
but yeah, that area is not developed or anything. I
No.
mean, so we could probably find it if that's indeed where it is. But that
Yeah.
was a weird little spot for sure.
There's one up in Auburn. It's the Chinese cemetery. As I saw it as I was going to go put flowers out for my mom, and you're heading up 49, and you pass like it's like a grocery outlet and stuff, but you look up on this hill, and I think there's a mechanic shop right next to it. You see this arch and overgrown. Now, I've always wanted to go in there, but I am terrified of snakes.
Oh, I do not do snakes. Nope.
I do not do snakes.
Nope.
And so it has to be when it's cold
Mm-hmm.
so that they aren't out saying hi.
Yeah, we may have to
But
check that out.
yeah, but it's
The-
been up there for years and nobody takes care of it.
Interesting.
It sits there.
The Grizzly Flats Cemetery over by, where we used to
Yeah.
live, it's far. I mean, it's far to drive. But
Yeah.
it's a really interesting cemetery. And since the fire happened in 21, the whole area is just burned off and
Oh, yeah.
open. And so you can still see the graves, but there's this place that used to, before the fire, have barbed wire fence up.
Mhm.
and it was all overgrown and everything. And we used to go back there because you could feel, and I never had it confirmed, but you could feel all these unconsecrated graves back there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Gladys, my friend, Gladys, she liked
Yeah.
to go back there and bury her spell work back there with them.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so
That
we
might.
went back there quite a bit. And one funny time is she said, I got to put it under this one tree. And so we're going back there, and we're two fat ladies going back there with Debbie, who's this little scampering woman,
Yeah.
And so we're getting Debbie to do a lot of the grunt work and stuff because we're all infirm. And so we're hobbling all back there to get to this one tree that Gladys wanted to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And we get Debbie digging because Gladys has a spell bottle she's got to put in there. And Debbie's digging and she hears clink,
Uh-oh.
clink. She gets down there, some other witches already put their spell bottle down there.
I thought she'd hit a casket or something. Oh, okay.
No, it was somebody else's spell work.
Yeah, but you know what? It's sort of interesting that you guys zeroed in on that one spot.
She did. I wasn't going back there, but she did. She goes, it's got to be back there. And she'd not been there. She just was feeling. And sure enough. So we were real careful not to break that open or anything, but it was real fun that happened. But that's a very busy place. It feels a lot different since the fire.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've been up there since the fire happened, and it's they had graves there from the early 1800s until 2007, I think, was the most recent one.
And so the old wooden headstones, they're gone, right?
Those are gone. In fact, when I lived up there, so this was, I'm going to guess around 2010 or so.
Yeah.
These two ladies that lived up there got together with some of their friends and spent months clearing and cleaning the graveyard because there's no assigned care for it.
Right.
And so they got it all cleaned up, and they researched where all the graves were that through some means. I don't know where they found the information, but one of them's husbands made probably 40 or 50 wooden RIP sticks.
Oh, nice.
And they went around and marked all the graves, and those are all gone now. And so, yeah, it's a pretty fascinating place, but damn, is it far.
Well, sometimes the far places are fun.
It's 40 minutes from Placerville, and I mean winding roads. You are on the side of a cliff, and yeah, I did not love living up there, and I lived up there for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But one of the most interesting cemeteries I have found local to you was Kilgore Cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
That's a wild little jumping place in the middle of a business park.
Right next to the sheriff's department.
Right, right.
I took way back when we had I contacted Good Day Sacramento, and this was back when they used to have those great big huge heads of some of the people, and we took the Cody head with us to the Washoe Club up in Virginia City, right? And Marianne McClary, interviewed us, and it was really cool. Well, I got a hold of him and I said, we're going to be investigating the Kilgore Cemetery. Next thing I know, Cody Stark is getting a hold of me, and he says, and Mayor Budge, Linda Budge was the mayor back then, she wants to investigate too with you. And I said, hey, come on in, 5:30 in the morning. We're out there next to the police department, and I had an Obelisk 3. Have you ever seen those? It's really cool, and it spouts out words that are supposed to be communications from the dead. Well, Cody's going, that looks really cool. Let me borrow it. And he's got his mic, and it says, at first it says necklace, and one of the people from the cemetery is telling us, oh yeah, that woman was killed because she stole somebody's necklace.
Wow.
I said, wow, okay, there's a hit. And we're going through, and we got toward the back, and it's pitch black, and all of a sudden it said die, kill, and that man handed me that Obelisk 3 and hit the road for the gate. I mean, he moved, and it was just absolutely hysterical. We took my grandson up there. I think Jesse was like 10 or 11 at the time, and this was the sun was out, you know, it was during the day and we were there, and he's got the Ovilus, and he goes and he has the Ovilus, and he has a digital recorder, and he's sitting on this little girl's grave, and he goes, "Hi, my name is Jesse. I really don't want to disturb you. If you'd like to talk to me, I'd be more than willing to do so." And he got this little girl on the digital recorder laughing. And I looked at him and I said, "Congratulations, sweetheart. You got your first EVP." And he looked at me and he went, "Oh, yay." So
But
that,
don't go
yeah.
back to the die kill guy, okay?
Oh, no, kid, no, but I don't know if we could ever get Cody to go back and do something like that again. He was not pleased.
I
He was
don't.
not pleased.
Well, you know what? You get what you pay for.
We we actually at one point I have a friend who knows the people who own the orchard where Juan Corona buried all those bodies.
Oh,
And we went and we did that. And what we ended up with was a little girl's voice out in the orchard. And when we researched it, we found out that back in the 80s, there was a really bad flood and a little girl died in that orchard. And
interesting.
so we got some EVPs of her, and that was cool because none of us knew that the little girl had died there. That's not what we were looking for. So, you go one way and you end up somewhere else. So it's fun. You never
For
know what you're
sure.
going to get.
For sure. So, switching gears a little bit,
Okay.
you can go by what was happening in your life. You can go by decades. It doesn't matter, however you want to sort it out. But what music or types of songs were, or even specific songs, would you say are the soundtrack of your past?
Don't let the sun go down on me. I had an ex-boyfriend that he was a sweetheart. He was a truck driver, and when he'd come through town, he'd stop off and say hi, and we'd hang out. But that was the song that he always listened to, and he passed away from a drug overdose. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, and his mother called me, and now every time I hear that song, I think about him.
Mm-hmm.
And how that was something that just really hit him. Every time he heard that song, it would just, it just sort of twist him up inside. And so, yeah, that, and I like sailing.
Oh, Christopher Cross.
Oh. Yeah, I'm a Navy girl. And when I'm having a really bad time, the ocean is where I need to be because it centers me. And listening to him, I can just see myself laying on the deck of a sailboat, and it just going and just being free. And so, yeah, those are the two songs
Those are
that
good ones.
really get me.
Very nice. So you can talk about each one of these individually if you want to. You can rank them. I don't care. But plane, train, bus, car, or boat?
Okay, number one, boat. I would love,
Navy thing, huh?
yeah, I would. Robert was laughing because I said that I would love to live on a houseboat. I think that would be so cool. Of course, when you got up and went to the bathroom, if you misstepped, it'd probably get real crazy. But um,
No snakes for the most part, probably.
oh God, well, I used to take my kids, and it's so funny now that I'm old and I'm in touch with my mortality, and I wasn't back then. I used to take my kids to the river and to Folsom Lake all the time, go swimming, right? Never gave it a second thought.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, I was looking at the water, and I went, "Ow!" And I was talking to somebody, and I said, "You know what? In all those years of my swimming in that lake or swimming in that river, it never struck me that there were fish going potty in that water.
Yeah.
Ew." You
Yeah,
know,
that's nasty.
I never would have went swimming in a toilet.
Right.
And so,
Or
you
an
know, now,
aquarium, like a home
yeah,
aquarium. Ugh.
I used to take the water and dump it in my plants, but I never swam in it. That and snakes. There are snakes in that water.
Well, when I was in Kentucky, where I lived, we had water moccasins. So you had to be real
Oh,
careful if you went fishing under a
yeah,
bridge
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, those things are
Not
mean.
care for that.
Oh, rattlesnakes. Then we're talking Nevada.
No, I'm good.
Rattlesnakes.
Thank you.
Any snake. I don't care. I told somebody one time I can't even really. Don't even like looking at snake pattern clothes.
That's
That's
fair.
how phobic I am.
My kids, it might be your experience too, but my kids' generation, for some reason, they were obsessed with having snakes for pets.
Ooh, no, mine never
And
did.
my kids were they always knew that is not something that's going to
Yeah.
happen. And if you grow up and you move out and you have a snake for a pet, I am not coming to visit.
Yep, there you go. I had a oh God, who was it? Somebody told me that their friend had a snake, and I said, "Well, I'll never go there."
Right.
And not even no close, not even close. Just the thought is
Yeah.
enough to. Robert and I have been a few places where, after I get to a certain point, he'd look at me and say, "You didn't see it, did you? See what? Oh, there was a snake over there." And I said, "You didn't tell me? You'd have killed yourself." And he's right. I would have.
Oh my
I
God.
when my kids were little, we had a neighbor across the street, and he was a teenager, and he'd just gotten his first four-wheel Ford Bronco. Now, sometimes I could be real dense. And he looked at me and said, "Pam, come over here. I found this gear shift knob and I want you to see it." Not once did it occur to me that he could have brought it over there and shown it to me. Not once. So I walk on over there and he goes, "It's in the glove compartment." Once again, he could have opened up that glove compartment and handed it to me, right? No. Pam falls for it. I hit that thing and there was a little garter snake inside
Oh
that
Lord have
thing. I let a blood curdling scream. I literally jumped out of my shoes, ran into my house yelling, "Every man for himself," and locked my kids out of the house.
Oh Lord. Now, my friend Mel she's got over 100 snakes. She is an
Oh,
absolute she does snake rescue and is a rehab person for reptiles. And so I've not ever been to her house, but back in 95, I lived on Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho.
Mhm.
And I worked at the Child Development Center. And I had a friend named Joan who I adored. And I went to Joan's house for the first time. And we're visiting and we're having a real good time and everything and talking and laughing and all this. And I just went in to go pee.
Mhm.
And as I'm on now, this is military housings. These bathrooms are not huge.
Yeah.
So on the bed. I'm doing my business there on the toilet. I look up, and these houses had little shelves that you put your towels on. I look up there. There's the biggest goddamn snake I've ever seen
Oh,
in my life,
God.
just
Mm.
on the shelf, within between me and the door,
Oh,
and it's
oh,
just
not good.
looking at me, watching me pee. So
Oh,
I had to get out of there.
oh yeah.
So fortunately, as I walked past the snake, I'm looking like, am I seeing things? Is that real? And sure, there's a snake there. And I went and I said, "Joan, there is a snake in your bed." Oh, she goes, "Oh yeah, that's Lola. She just roams the house." I was like, "Well, I'll see you later."
I snowing it later.
No, I just,
We went-
and you know what? I know where it comes from. I know where my fear comes from.
Oh yeah, me too. I know
And
exactly where it came from.
but I don't see it changing.
No,
No, it's not my thing. So
I
boat, yes, you said you're all about
yes.
the boat. How are you on plane, train, bus, and car?
Oh, I love all of them.
Do you?
I love being on a plane.
Me too.
I love looking out the windows and taking pictures, and the little seat where it shows you where you are. I absolutely adore airplanes. And we took a train to Reno one time. We got one of those little roomettes. Oops, sorry about that. We got a roomette, and went to Reno. And on the way back, there was an avalanche, and we got stuck up there for 9 hours.
Oh my.
So, but hey, I was cool. I'm inside the train eating my Dinty Moore stew. So that was yeah, I like trains. I like planes. I love going on road trips in the car. I'm the world's biggest tourist. I just, world's biggest ball of twine. I'm in.
That's wonderful.
Show me. I told you that when Robert and I went to Texas, I dragged him into the funeral museum. It was fascinating.
I'll
But
bet.
when he tells people that, they look at me and go, "Oh," but I go, "Hey, don't knock it till you try it. It was
No,
cool."
that tracks. I could see that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was great, but his sister, when I met her, wow, what have you been doing? Well, we went to the book depository, and then we went to the Holocaust Museum across the street from there,
Mhm.
and then I took him to the film museum, and she just went, "Okay, I guess we're not going to be buds."
Oh, well,
I can live
sacrifices
with that.
must be made. So
There
you're
you go.
okay with the bus too, you said?
Oh yeah, I've taken lots of trips on the bus. When I was a kid, we'd go on the bus and go places. And when I was working, I used to take the what is it? The light rail on the
Mhm,
bus.
mhm.
And it was really entertaining. The light rail is the only place where you get a floor show
You sure
along with
do.
your trip.
Yeah,
Lots of really interesting things happen on the light
that's
rail.
true. That's true.
So I like
And
it all. I just like traveling. I don't
and
care
then
how I do it.
you used to be able a long time ago to go anywhere in the United States round trip for $88 with Greyhound.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not
We want
anymore.
to try and find the bus to go to Reno
Mm,
and back. You know how they used to have the gambling buses?
yeah,
We haven't been able to find one.
I
And we
haven't heard of
wanted
that in
to,
ages.
well, we've seen where you'll see a bunch of old people standing waiting for the bus. And so I'm searching because we thought it'd be fun to just jump on a bus, go to Reno, hang around, hit the buffet, and come back because we don't gamble. So,
Did you know? You probably do know this. Did you know that in Tahoe, I don't know how it is in Reno, but in Tahoe, there are no longer buffets in the casinos.
hmm. I know
Since
they took
COVID,
COVID. COVID
after
really
COVID,
ruined that.
they didn't bring them back.
But there's supposedly one up at Red Hawk.
Yes,
I'm not
there's one
sure.
at Red Hawk, but
So
this was
yeah.
I mean, in Tahoe, Nevada, Tahoe.
I used to love to go up there and hit the buffets because they were so
Harvey's
good.
had the best one.
Oh, and then in Reno, the Silverado.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the Silverado. I don't know whether it still does or not,
I
but
don't know. I haven't been to Reno in ages. I think the last time I went to Reno, I went to the Atlantis, and because we were right there at the Atlantis, I went to Claim Jumpers instead, which Claim Jumpers doesn't exist
oh,
anymore.
I
So,
know. God, I used to love it was called their Jamaican chicken.
mm,
Yeah, I love that stuff. And then all the places I really love, they just bomb.
I hear you. So, on that happy note, we have reached the end of our list.
Well, then you're going to have to come up with a new list.
No, I've got two more.
Oh, okay, I'm ready.
Well, not today because I got to go pee
Oh,
again, but we
oh,
will.
well,
So I'm going to book you in for another couple of interviews. And meanwhile,
okay,
you and I need to, once it warms up a little bit and I can walk again,
yeah.
we gotta do some tours out here.
Maybe if you're interested, I can take you through we can do an investigation, the Kennedy mine.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, Argonaut mine, 47 men died. They brought the bodies out from Kennedy and laid them out there. Uh, on top of the 47 that died at Argonaut, they have a whole list of people who died at the Kennedy mine because it was a dangerous place to work.
Yeah,
Now,
sure.
I don't know if you know Jamie Rubio, but she wrote a book about the Kennedy mine and about the deaths at the Kennedy mine. And they're absolutely fascinating because there's a couple up there that the going consensus is this guy killed this other guy, but nobody could prove it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really cool. You're not going into the mine. The mine is full of water, so
Sure.
you can't get in there. But we go into you start in the changing house, and then you go into the lower supers office, go up to the big house, the big office that they had up at the top of the hill. We go to the rec room, and then we come back to, I think that, yeah, the upper, no. Oh, and then you go to the trail, you go up to the head frame, and you can stand underneath the head frame, and we do investigations in there. But it's it's really, there's nothing dark there.
Interesting.
It's not one of the, if you're somebody who doesn't want to get into the middle of something dark, this is the place to go, because I've never had anything other than occasionally feeling like I'm not wanted.
I'm like you. I run toward it.
If I feel like they don't want me to go upstairs, okay, guys, you got it. I ain't
I'm the
going.
same way. I'm there. I'm on their terms, but yeah, if
I'm
something's
visiting
happening,
your
I'll do my
house.
best to get there unless they tell me otherwise.
Yeah, because I'll turn around, and I've told people before, if I feel like I'm not wanted, this is their house.
Right.
I'm not gonna push it.
I agree.
Now there have been times when I have pushed it. I'm not gonna do it there.
No, we're
But
older, wiser now.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm in touch with my mortality, so I don't do the same stupid stuff I used to do when I was younger.
Well, we should have that on a pillow somewhere, should we?
You know what? Next time I start doing embroidery, I'll do us a pillow that says,
We don't do
I'm in
stupid stuff
touch.
anymore.
Oh, I can't say that, but I can say I'm in touch with my mortality,
Well, maybe we
because
don't do
I
the
do
same stupid
stupid.
stuff.
I still do stupid. Can't help myself.
Well, we won't talk about you trying to get your ass out of the bathtub, okay?
Okay.
Thanks
It
for
was not
being
a,
here with me, Pam. It's always a joy, and you
oh,
will
and
be
I love
back.
you too.
Huh?
I love you too.
Say it again.
Hey, I said I love you too.
I love you too.
Oh, you just like hearing it.
I just want to hear it 3 times. Whoop. That was weird. We lost Pam. Or at least on my end, it went, there she is. It went black. It was terrifying. There you are.
There I am. I got an unknown caller coming up
Well, I
bad.
think technology is telling us to go. So it was good to see you.
It was good to see you too. I'll see you
Eh,
soon.
You'll see me soon. Take care now.
I
Bye,
will.
everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Hey, we